There is a visual from the source material we're covering today that I can't shake it. It's an opening shot that tells you everything you need to know.
Hmm.
You see a gazelle, just this graceful, beautiful thing sprinting across the dunes. It is running for its life.
And right on its heels, you've got this jeep full of armed men waving AK-47s, just bouncing over the sand.
And you immediately think, okay, this is a hunt. They're going to shoot it. But the leader, he stops the driver.
Hmm.
He gives this order that is so much more sinister.
Yeah, it really is. He says, don't shoot. Tire it out.
Tire it out.
That's the key, isn't it? It's psychological. It's not about the meat. It's about submission. It's about chasing this creature until its lungs burn and it collapses. Pure domination.
And that gazelle is the perfect metaphor for the human population in the story we're unpacking today. We are diving into the narrative of the film Timbuktu.
Right.
Our sources break down this story, which is set in Mali in 2012, right after Timbuktu was seized by the extremist group Ansar Dine.
And it's important to frame the source material here. It's not, a dry political report. It's a narrative analysis. It's really focused on the human friction that happens when a culture is suddenly crushed under this extreme authoritarianism.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is to explore that friction. We're looking at how the source depicts life under these completely arbitrary rules, the absurdity of it all, and the quiet resilience that starts to bubble up.
It's a study in how a society tries to survive when its whole world just shrinks overnight.
Yeah. And it doesn't start with a big battle. It starts with a megaphone.
Mhm.
The source describes Timbuktu becoming this ghost town. Empty streets, heavy silence.
And then the list of bands.
Oh, the list. No music, no smoking, no just hanging around. Men have to roll up their pants. And for women, it's just so restrictive. They're told they have to wear socks and gloves at all times.
Let's just pause on the gloves for a second. We are in the Sahel. It is over 100 degrees. Mandating gloves isn't just about modesty. It's a form of sensory deprivation.
How do you mean?
Well, think about it. When you force someone to wear gloves to do everything, to handle food, to hold their kids, you are severing their connection to the world. You make the regime's presence felt on their skin every single second. It's a way of saying, we own your body.
And it's not just bodies they want to own, it's history. There's this scene where they pull up to these ancient African wooden statues, cultural artifacts, and they use them for target practice.
Which is a textbook authoritarian tactic. It's what's often called year zero. You destroy the symbols of the past to convince people that your ideology is the only one that exists. You're erasing their identity.
But the source makes a really interesting point here. The locals, they don't just roll over, and the pushback comes from the religious leaders themselves.
This is such a critical distinction. The conflict isn't framed as, West versus Islam. It's extremism versus traditional faith.
And there's a scene at the main mosque that shows this perfectly. The armed occupiers, they walk right into the prayer space, but they keep their combat boots on.
A massive violation. You leave the world outside. You do not bring shoes onto the prayer rug.
And the local imam, he just stands up to them, no fear. He confronts them about the shoes. And when the leader says, we are waging jihad, the imam just shuts him down.
Theologically, too. He tells them jihad is supposed to be an internal struggle, a fight against your own evil impulses, terrorizing your neighbors.
Yeah.
That isn't jihad. It's just aggression.
It completely strips away their moral cover. The source is so clear on this. The occupiers aren't pious. They're just power-hungry men using religion as a costume.
And once that costume is gone, you see how absurd it all is.
The fish seller scene, that one really stuck with me. A local woman in the market selling fish. The religious police come up and demand she put on gloves.
Velvet gloves to handle slippery fish. I mean, it's just impossible.
She tries to explain. She says, I'm washing fish in water. They'll slip. They don't care. It's the law. And her reaction, she doesn't beg.
She calls their bluff.
She holds out her wrists and yells, cut them off then. Cut off my hands, but I'm not wearing the gloves because I have to feed my children.
And right there, the fear just breaks. When the rules make survival impossible, punishment loses its power. She forces them to confront the brutality of their own system.
It just exposes that the rules aren't about God. They're about control.
Totally. And the only person who seems to be able to mock them freely is Zabu.
The mad woman.
Right.
The source describes her as this chaotic, colorful figure. She dances in the street, blocks their jeeps.
And they do nothing. Because in the rigid little system, the insane are outside the law. So she exists in this loophole.
But the irony, as the source points out, is that she's the mirror. In a world that's gone completely crazy, the so-called crazy woman is the only one acting sane.
The jester, the only one who can speak truth to the king.
And while she fights with mockery, the young people fight with creativity. There's a raid on a house where kids are just playing music.
They get dragged out, sentenced to a public whipping.
It's a brutal scene. But there's this one girl. As she's being whipped, she doesn't scream.
She sings.
She starts to sing. Through her tears, she takes the rhythm of the lash and turns it into a song. It's this incredible act of defiance. They can hurt her body, but they can't touch her spirit.
And that theme, that you can remove the object but not the spirit, it culminates in the soccer match.
The imaginary match. It's
That's
just surreal.
Just visually stunning.
So soccer is banned, the ball is banned. But the local boys, they go out to the dunes anyway, and they play a full, intense match without a ball.
Pantomiming every kick, every pass, every save. I mean, they're taking it seriously.
And then the patrol jeep arrives. The soldiers get out, ready to confiscate the ball, but they just freeze.
There's no ball to confiscate.
They stand there looking completely confused. It breaks the logic of their occupation.
It does. It makes them look impotent. You can ban the object, but you can't ban the desire to play. The resistance moved into their minds, a place the soldiers just can't reach.
And while all this is happening, the source peels back the curtain on the occupiers themselves, the hypocrisy. It centers on this one character, Abdelkarim.
The guy who enforces the smoking ban.
Exactly. He's the one raiding houses. But then we see him. He has his driver take him way out into the desert. He hides behind a dune, and he smokes.
And then buries the butts and perfumes himself. It just proves everything the imam said. The rules are for you, not for me.
But Abdelkarim isn't just a hypocrite. He plays this dark role in the central tragedy of the story. Because we've been in the city, but the deep dive also focuses on a family out in the dunes trying to stay away from it all.
Kidane, the cattle herder.
Right. Their life is this fragile pocket of peace. Kidane, his wife Setima, their daughter Toya. It's a real contrast to the city. He plays music. She doesn't wear the veil. They're trying to maintain their freedom just by being separate.
But the separation is an illusion, isn't it? Abdelkarim, the smoking hypocrite, he keeps driving out there.
He claims it's for inspections, but the source is clear. He is lusting after Setima. He's invading their sanctuary.
And the tension is just building. But the thing that finally destroys them, it doesn't come from the religious police. It comes from a cow.
A cow named GPS.
GPS. Great name for the leader of the herd.
So GPS wanders into the nets of a local fisherman, Amadou. He's furious. He throws a spear and kills the cow.
That's a serious escalation.
It is. The young shepherd boy runs home crying. And this is where Kidane is tested. He's a gentleman. But that cow is his wealth. It's part of his family.
He has to respond. He goes to his trunk and gets a pistol. His wife, Setima, she sees this and begs him not to go.
And his response is so tragic. He says, I'm not going to shoot him. I just want to talk, but I'm taking the gun so he doesn't think I'm weak.
The fatal error, bringing a weapon into it.
He finds Amadou at the river. They argue. They grapple.
And the gun goes off.
It's an accident. The source is very clear on that. It's not an execution. But the bullet hits Amadou, and he dies.
And what happens next says everything about Kidane. He doesn't run.
He doesn't run. He just stands there and waits for the jeep. He surrenders. And he's taken from the wide-open dunes to a dark cell in the city. The shadows have finally caught him.
The trial is.
Yeah.
It's a bureaucratic nightmare. The judge speaks Arabic. Kidane speaks Tamashek. They need a translator just to decide his fate.
It just reinforces how foreign this whole regime is. He's being judged by laws he doesn't know, in a language he doesn't speak. He's honest. He says it was an accident. The judge explains blood money. If he pays 40 cows to the family, he could be spared.
And this is where justice just hits a wall of poverty. Kidane, he laughs, this sad, resigned laugh.
He says, I have 8 cows. 1 is dead. I have 7. The idea of 40 is just, it's impossible. He literally cannot afford his own life.
And the family, they refuse to forgive him, so the sentence is death.
We should mention the source includes this harrowing subplot where a couple is stoned to death, so you know there's no leniency here. But Kidane's behavior, it's so different.
He's calm. He prays. He asks God for forgiveness. He seems more at peace than his captors do. He represents that true introspective faith.
His last wish is just to say goodbye to his family. The judge grants it. But on the day of the execution, it does not go to plan.
No. He's led out to the dunes. It's quiet. And then the sound. A motorcycle.
It's Setima. his wife.
She's ridden all the way from their tent. The soldiers are screaming at her, "Stop! Go back!"
She ignores them. She jumps off the bike and just starts running across the sand toward him.
She knows. She knows the firing squad is there. She is running directly into the line of fire.
It's this act of total solidarity. She will not let him die alone. She reaches him. They embrace.
And the order is given. Fire.
They shoot them both. They collapse together, holding on to each other.
It's just devastating. But look who's watching. Abdelkarim, the hypocrite who lusted after her. He sees that his laws have destroyed the very thing he desired.
And he flees, tells his driver to get them out of there. He can't even look at what he's done.
He runs away. But there's one person left behind.
Toya, the 12-year-old daughter. This is the final sequence. She's alone. She realizes her parents are not coming back, and she starts to run.
Just running into the desert. No water, no destination, just panic.
It mirrors the gazelle from the beginning, doesn't it? The cycle is complete. The regime hasn't just killed 2 people. They've chased this child until her whole world collapsed. They've tired her out.
So when we step back from this narrative,
Yeah.
what's the source really telling us? Is it just a tragedy?
It is a tragedy, but it's also a testament, right? The core argument is that terror fails to conquer the human spirit. The imaginary soccer ball, the singing girl, Kidane's dignity.
Exactly. The victims held the moral high ground the entire time. The oppressors have the guns and the megaphones, but they're shown as confused, hypocritical, spiritually hollow. The people, the imam, the fish seller, Kidane, they have the true authority.
You can ban the ball, but you can't stop the game.
You can't.
Yeah.
But
Kufr.
we can't ignore the cost. That resilience comes at a terrible, terrible price.
Which brings us back to that final image, Toya, running. And that's the thought we want to leave you with. We saw the parents die. We saw the regime's moral collapse. But what happens to the child left in the wreckage?
That's the question, isn't it? When a generation is raised in the shadow of this kind of extremism, where their parents are killed and their world is dismantled, where do they run to? What do they become? The story doesn't answer. It just leaves her running.
A heavy but essential deep dive today. We really appreciate you listening to this one. We'll be back next time with another stack of sources to unpack. Stay curious.
And keep the game going.
See you next time.